Tupac case.
Try YouTube Premium. How could YouTube get any more clutch? No ads, no breaks. Okay. Still plays with the screen off? Nice touch. If you like YouTube, you'll love YouTube Premium. Try it now for 2 months free.
And we were at a gate. We basically stayed at the gate while entourage of vehicles came through. Approximately 15 vehicles came through, the last one being Sugar Knights.
Okay, now regards to the entourage of vehicles, where do they go?
In through the gate. I never went in through the gate, so I didn't see where they went after they entered the gate.
And with regards to the vehicles that went in, did you recognize or get know of any of the vehicles?
The last one was Sugar Knights, it was a gray colored Cadillac.
And I'm sorry, I just want to make sure. The last one that you had was the cream-colored Cadillac.
Yes.
And why do you remember that?
Just at the time, it was occupied by 2 black males.
Okay.
And I didn't know Sugar Knight at the time. I was kind of, interested in. I was looking for Tyson at the time, and they just pointed that out to me as Sugar Knights.
Yeah. And fair to say though that sometime in the future you were asked to obviously write a report on that mission.
Yes.
That was your officer's report.
Yes.
And in that officer's report, did you include the mention of a cream-colored Cadillac with 2 black male doors?
I did.
Now, after your view of the Cadillacs going into the residence, how long after that the shooting of Tupac occurred?
Probably half an hour later that they came out, and it was probably 10 minutes later Mike Tyson actually entered. It's probably another 10 minutes after he came out again, and it was probably 10 minutes after that the shooting took place.
Okay, and just for the jury's edification, you see Mike Tyson entered meaning he came into the residence.
He came in, but not with the entourage of the first 15. First 15 vehicles went into the gate. They all came out again. Mike Tyson went in the gate. He came out, and then we left. And at that point, maybe it was approximately 10 o'clock, I think the shooting took place.
Sir, I have no further questions.
Okay.
Oh, God. Any hands? He's about to leave. Shit. It's just like open and shut case, Johnson. It's time for me to go. All right, we're all done. All right, so this is the defense's first witness. It looks like there is going to be light cross-examination by that one sheet there. Very disappointed in the state that they rested their case in 8 days. They told us that this was going to be a 4 to 6 week trial. We are on week 2. So I don't know what happened. It seems like there are some things happening behind the scenes, but it is not looking good. This is the defense's first witness. I started the stream 14 minutes ago. Michael Stant will probably be done in 20 more minutes at this rate. This gentleman worked for the Las Vegas Police Department. It's the first witness. And basically, he was an off-duty police officer that was charged or at least hired by Suge Knight to help with security because it sounds like Tyson was going to go to his personal residence and he was charged with protecting Tyson. So Tyson, after the fight, goes to Suge's crib too. The caravan went to Suge's house, the 15 cars went in, and the 15 cars come out. Looks like Mike, he just got into a fight. He showed up late by himself and was coming out by himself, or at least his car came in to find the caravan. So it looks like they were inside Suge's neighborhood, the gated community, for about 30 minutes. And then after they left, 10 minutes later is when the shooting happened. That's what Michael Sant wants you to know. That's what he wants the jury to know. We're about to go to cross-examination. All right, so the other big thing that I think he hoped to cast some doubt on was that in the caravan there was a cream-colored Cadillac. So let's see what happens next. We're going to go with cross, but this witness is like, I'm good, I'm done? All right, bye. I don't want nothing to do with this.
Okay, they might be crossed. Should we drop like you may cross?
Officer Height,
Yes.
if you could explain to ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when officers at the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department want to work overtime, they can sign up for special events, and then the police department assigns you where to go.
Yes.
And usually that works by a business or a lawyer or something setting up with the sheriff or one of the sheriff's employees a special request for, hey, I want officers for this particular event.
We have a special event. We had a special events section of the police department that businesses that would promote events would contact, and they would ask how many. They would ask how many officers would need, and officers would be called, and then we would show up and sign patients.
And so on this particular night, it was Metro that assigned you to this location in order to keep the peace for whatever reason.
Yes.
You indicated that you were mainly at the guard gate,
Yes.
and you saw a sequencing of events that occurred at the guard gate.
Yes.
At some point after the homicide, did somebody direct you to write your report?
Yes.
And during the course of that, did you know, well, first of all, who directed you?
I believe it was my lieutenant.
Your lieutenant said, hey, we should document this.
Yes.
And one of the things you documented was not only that you were there, but that the guard gate security detail was called Allied Security, and that they maintained a log of the vehicles that went in and out.
I believe that's correct.
Thank you very much.
Anything?
Yes, sure. I just one more thing. When you're doing this kind of work, it's for additional hours, right?
Yes.
What were you wearing on that particular
Uniform.
And is that always the case?
Yeah.
Bathrooming genius here, and I live for operational excellence. Cute makeovers? I see a shop in sync. Checkouts? Flawless. From game day crowds worldwide to running this shop, that's genius.
Get assigned different things. I was uniformed,
Okay. Not him saying no further questions and the man keeps talking.
so I was always uniformed. There may be detectives or others that would respond differently, but my assignments were all, I was uniformed, so I was always uniformed.
Yes. Thank you.
1 second.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions? We have some.
Jury questions are a mug in this trial. What do they got? Okay, it's muted. For the members, I did post all jury questions, 29 of them, throughout the trial in the members area. And shout out to Belfast BMAC, who gifted 5 memberships. So 5 of you guys can check those out right now. They are on sidebar looking at the jury's questions. It looks like the jury, even though this is a quick witness, the jury has a few questions. Let's see what they are.
A couple questions from our jurors. Did you notice any damage or bullet holes on any of the cars that came through the gates at Suge Knight's residence, especially the white Cadillac?
No, there's no damage.
No damage. Were any of the crew members carrying guns?
I didn't see any guns on any of the entourage people because they were all in their cars. We all had guns.
Okay,
Uniform.
got it. Did you see the cream-colored Cadillac leave?
Yes. They all left.
Okay, when was that?
Close to 10 o'clock, I would say.
Okay,
Maybe 9:30-ish.
got it. Mr. Stamp, any further questions?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now you're free.
Okay.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Mr. Stamp, your next witness.
Your Honor, we'd like to call Charles Baker, please, to the stand.
Carlos Baker. Okay.
If he's second witness, he's almost done. He only has 3.
you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Do.
You may be seated.
Looks like another cop, maybe?
May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Charlie Mangrum, CHARLIDMANGRUM.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Sanford.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Mangrum, can you turn your attention back 30 years from now? On the night of September 7th, 1996, what were your employee doing?
I was assigned as an overtime officer in charge of 3 other police officers to monitor a party that was supposed to happen at Suge Knight's house located on Tamiasa.
Okay, I'm going to show you here some maps. I just wanted to see if you could help identify where this is located. I may approach.
Yeah, you may.
Record showing marked and admitted.
I'm a little confused by this. A lot of people said that they went to Suge's house. I didn't know it was a party. And why would they be double booked like that if there's a party and then they know that Tupac has a performance after?
You don't have that? Oh, it's not admitted yet. Okay.
This is defense exhibit YY, defense exhibit AAA, defense exhibit EB. Just
Okay.
you recognize those aerial photographs?
Yes.
Just going to say that they were integrated by a stipulation between the parties. I want to just put this up on the screen for everyone to see.
Okay.
So with regards to the first photograph here, which would be the first aerial view here, this would be defense exhibit YY. You recognize this?
Yes.
Now, just a general idea though, what is this the image of?
It's an aerial view of the gated community where Suge Knight lives, of Tamiasa.
All right, and just because of the fact that we're looking at an overall aerial view, it looks like the positive biggest.
Yes.
If you step down, just part of the jury where on this photograph is the location of Suge Knight's house.
Yes.
Please step down.
This was a gate. Suge Knight's house was just above this.
Okay. So just for our identification though, it looks like there is a, would that be an airport that's right there to the left?
Yes.
It's already been. Okay. And the major cross streets that would be the area which we're talking about here, would that be with Sunset Eastern?
Tamiasa runs to Sunset and Eastern is in this direction.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you now what's really marked admitted is defense exhibit AAA. This is a closer image of the area that we're talking about.
Yes.
All right, can you point to the jury where that area is?
Sunset Park. This would be this is Suge Knight's area here. That should be Tamiasa.
Okay. And then just one final image here, which has been admitted to by stipulation, CZ. Can you describe or tell the jury what we're looking at here?
I'll be honest,
I'm sorry. Sir, Mr. Grant, we're talking quickly.
Yes, I apologize. Mr. Sands and I stipulated to all of these maps that we gave each constructed on that. So for all of the maps that he has, we agreed to by stipulation.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's admitted via stipulation, Brad.
Thank you. And CZ, go ahead, sir.
yes, this would be Talias. And nice house. And just north of the main.
Okay, and that's all we need for you for that purpose. Now, in terms of what your job was that night, what were you assigned to do?
Apparently there had been other parties following Mike Tyson fights at Suge's house, and the HOA or association had some issues with the number of people and the number of uninvited guests that showed up, and they wanted to have some police officers there to help keep the peace.
All right, and can you tell us what you were worried about that night?
I was wearing a uniform.
And when you were there, were you able to notice any of the traffic of vehicles going in and out of the residence area?
Yes.
Can you describe for us any of the vehicles that have gone in or out of the residence area?
Yes. At approximately about 10, 15, Suge Knight driving a BMW, blue BMW, with Tupac in the passenger seat, came to the gate, and followed by, I believe, probably 5 or 6 other vehicles in line, which I described in my oral.
Okay. Now, just to make sure I'm clear with the oral report, you don't have to put that right now, but with regards to the oral report, is that something that you do as a police officer, is write a report?
Yes.
Now, in this case, obviously you're just helping with potentially a party that takes place. There's no party that takes place, right?
No.
Were you asked by anyone to write the officer's report after your time working on Tuesday night?
Yes, I was. I don't recall that was something.
That's fine. So the officer's report wrote, fair to say that that's something that you have done throughout your career as a police officer?
Absolutely.
And what's the reason for an officer's report?
Documentation, so that in the future you have something to go on.
Now, with regards to your recollection for that night, did you, what were the other vehicles that you remember entering into the residence area of Suge Knight and the areas?
Well, Suge and Tupac were there approximately 30 minutes, and they exited back out, followed by cream-colored Cadillac, compact vehicle that was occupied by 4 females, and a few other vehicles that I had to refer to my home.
Okay. Notice that he's saying what the last person said. Focusing on a cream-colored Cadillac. Why is KPD's defense doing that? To show that it wasn't their Cadillac. I was curious on what their angle was going to be. But now we are focused on a cream-colored Cadillac being in the Tupac caravan. Not Keefe D's, I wasn't there. Not Keefe D's, I'm a liar. Not Keefe D saying y'all can't prove it. They're focusing on a cream-colored Cadillac being in the Tupac and Suge caravan. Did not see that coming. Let's go back on in.
But later on, following the time that Tupac and Suge left, Mike Tyson showed up as a passenger in a Bentley, followed by another Bentley that I believe was Don King's son. And we informed them that Suge Knight had told us that the party was no longer going to happen. And then they turned around and left.
I see. And then your report was written. How long after the event that occurred that you're telling us did you write?
It's dated the 19th of that month.
All right. Thank you, sir. No further questions.
Really? Really? And that's it?
Lieutenant, you wrote this report.
You weak ass lawyer.
I'm not sure. It might have been the PIO's office or someone investigating the case.
On the second page of your report, it shows this was copied to Detective Brett Becker, number 2838/homicide. So this would have been something that you would have sent to homicide to let them know this information.
Yes.
Now, in looking at your report, you indicate that, would you agree with me, that at 21:30 hours, it's you and Officer Quick that are actually at the residence of Mr. Knight talking to somebody there, and Mr. Knight's not home?
No.
Then you say at 2200 hours, Officers Schmidt and Height were at the garden gate.
Yes.
When the cars came in.
When they started coming in, yes.
And then at 22:15 hours or 20 hours is when you arrive at the gate.
Yes. Approximately, yes.
And at 22:30 hours is where Suge Knight driving a black BMW with Tupac Shakur in the driver's seat, followed by the rest of the caravan, leave the residence. Now, what you received today, I believe you have there, is a 2-page report. Mine's a lot. Has a bunch of attachments, so I just want to show you one. So, that appears to be your 2-page report. Is that your officer's report? Yes. Okay. And then behind it has basically all the various special assignments going on that night in the valley. Would your glasses look at that?
I hadn't seen this.
And that's just Metro kept record of all the various special events that evening, who was assigned where, in case we need to look into that later. And after that, there appears to be the gate log with the plate numbers of all the vehicles that were going in and out of that particular vehicle. Okay. Look accurate.
I haven't seen it. I've never seen it.
By looking at that, does this suggest to you that Metro Homicide in 1996 followed this lead, followed up on it?
Objection, Your Honor, to leading.
This is cross-examination.
Oh, yeah, you're across.
I'm on cross.
Overall.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, and when that white Cadillac left that guard gate, it was occupied by 2 black ones as well.
Jury question?
Anything further? Redraft.
Yes, Your Honor, just with regards to the last question that was asked by Mr. Johnson, sir, he says that it was a white Cadillac. It was either white or cream, is what he said. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's what you wrote.
Wait.
Yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Okay, anything further, Mr. Redraft?
No, no questions.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any questions for this witness? We may have one.
You know this astute jury has questions. 29 questions from days 1 through 8.
KT tape increases blood flow to help reduce pain. Because you can either.
Gallery looks fuller because this is probably the last day of the case. You've only been live for 36 minutes. He has his second witness left. They are at sidebar reviewing the questions that the jury had. I think I counted at least 1 or 2. So we're going to see what the skeptical jury is thinking, what questions they have for this witness, and then we will move to Keefe D's final witness before the state.
A question for mergers. Anything further, Mr. Sam? Mr. Dodd. Thank you, sir. Motion adopted.
Eric, that's what you call Dan Long.
Okay.
Whoa. Is this the detective that actually investigated Keefe D?
Wait, who's
As a
this?
defense witness? What? Whoa. Jan Long as his final witness.
Damn, this is a quick day.
He was Detective 2 in this case. I could be wrong. Let's see.
This is a quick day, even though I came in late.
Section should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Please be seated. May I please have you state and spell your first and last name for the record?
Dan Long, DANLONG.
Thank you, sir. Whenever you're ready, Mr. Sampson.
Thank you. Mr. Long, taking your attention back 30 years to September of 1996. How were you employed?
Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
And at the time, what was your assignment?
I was a detective in gang crimes.
This is the second detective. Oh shit. So we heard from the first detective in the case. The second detective was Detective Long, which was this guy. And then you had Detective Mogg take over afterward. This is why Stan showed us a timeline of all three detectives who took over and things of the like. Because what's going to happen is Long, at some point, he touched it last before Mogg took over in, I think, 2018. Important testimony. Let's see what the defense has up their sleeve.
Do you recall the night of September 7th, 1996?
I do.
What were you doing at that period of time?
I was on a gang enforcement team, and we had stopped a bunch of juvenile males about a block, more than a block, to the east and to the south. We had been requested to patrol that area because there had been some incidents, and they wanted to know if these were gang members. We had stopped them. We were talking to them. They were not gang members. And then we heard a volley of gunshots.
Okay, and when you say to the east and south, where exactly to the east and south are we talking about?
I'm sorry, Cobalt and Flamingo. We are one block to the east, and we were on a side street to the south. That area doesn't exist anymore.
Showing you the map here, aerial photograph, events, wide. You recognize this map, this aerial photograph?
Yes.
And what does it tell us?
Flamingo and Sand Hill, Flamingo and Cobalt is where the shooting occurs. The airport's right to the south. Carriage House is just to the south of where the shooting occurs. We were, if you zoom in, I can show you where we were.
Here's what we'll do. If you could just step out of your chair, just get up next to the screen. I'm going to get this a little closer for everyone to see where you're at. Does this help? There's an area here that's been folded, so you can see where the streets, the alleys had been right here. There used to be an apartment complex right there. There was one alley, two streets, and the area command that had that area wanted us to check to see if these were there. We went in, stopped some males. They were not gang
members. They were just true events. While we were standing there talking to these males, we heard all the gunshots. We didn't want to talk to these males anymore, so we jumped in our vehicles and we moved to the shoots.
Okay. And what you're pointing at for the jury, just for the record, is the intersection of Cobalt and
Correct.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now, fair to say, of course, you're there conducting your business as a member of the gang unit.
That's right.
You weren't there for overflow or anything to do with special events for the fine.
No.
Now, for some of us who weren't around during this time period, can you describe for us a little bit about the activity that was going on at the time, like in terms of the streets and people walking around when you heard the shots being fired?
It was packed. It was extremely, there was people everywhere, people walking, traffic was fully backed up. We had to get into the intersection. We had to use, we were in unmarked cars, so we were in plain cars. We moved into the intersection using red lights and sirens. We moved across, people were waving at us and pointing. There was a vehicle there that became of interest to us. Some girls had been shot at. While we had gotten out to talk to them and find out what was going on, we had no idea this was attached to anything. One of the guys on my team, Dino Kelly, found some cartridge cases in the street. So we started moving our vehicles in the area to block off traffic so they wouldn't get run over and putting up yellow tape.
Now, once again, were you in charge of the investigation of either the shooting or the eventual homicide?
No.
All right. So at the time in 2000 or 1996, you were anything other than your gang.
Right. And at that time, we had found a shooting scene. We don't know what we have. So we're just securing the scene in case there are victims. And then we would find out what was going on.
At some point in the future, though, as you progress in your career, did you ever at any point leave the gang unit?
Yes.
What did you do after that?
In 2000, I was invited to test to go into homicide. I then tested for homicide and went into homicide.
And what year was that?
2000.
Now, during the time that you were in homicide, that would have been from 2000 to roughly when?
I retired from the department in 2017.
So you spent 17 years in homicide?
Yes, sir.
Now, during the time period that you were in homicide, were you ever assigned the case of the Tupac?
Yes.
That's the name, but I just want to make sure. You were given the assignment at some point?
Yes, I was. 2004, my sergeant, Kevin Manning, handed me the file and said I would follow any further leads.
All right, and can you explain to us a little bit about how that works? You're a detective. The file had it with somebody else, where Detective Becker.
Yeah, Detective Becker, Detective Mike Franks.
And now you have the file. So what do you do as a detective when you're handed the file that's ready to work?
You read it. You read it. I went through the pictures. I then discussed it with my sergeant. I went down to California. There was a lot in that file, and I didn't know Compton very well. I didn't know Compton at all. So I went down. I had ridden in the gang unit with gang detectives, and I knew them still. So I called and said, "Can you take me around and show me these things?" So we drove around Compton. They showed me houses where the Compton Crips lived. They showed me where Orlando Anderson died. They showed me a lot of different things. And Compton was very small, but it was very impacted with gangs.
Now, during this time period, can you describe for us a little bit about, was there still an interest in the murder of Tupac at the time of the Tupac case? Meaning, was there media attention? Maybe that's the level was at the beginning, but was there still issues with regards to access to the file?
Yes, there was.
And,
Now I know where you're going.
yeah, and what I mean by that initially is that even in Metro, was there any concern on your part about unauthorized access to the file?
Not by me. I wasn't concerned, but my lieutenant had become concerned. and wanted to sequester the file away from everybody else because there was a lot of people going in and looking. Very, very famous person.
And with regards to the going in and looking, can you describe to the jury what type of activity you're talking about here? Go ahead.
I didn't do any investigation in this, but my lieutenant told me that people had been going in and being curious, looking at the file.
Did you at any point, was there any measures that was taken to preserve the safety and security of that file?
Yes.
What were those measures?
They locked down the file itself, which was just the hard copy of the file. We used to, at that time, we were on a computer drive called the F drive, which turned out to be too small, and they later moved it to another drive because homicide just kept growing. So they changed the way I did my reports. I would hand them in, and they were secure.
Okay. Now, we talk a little bit about reports. What reports are we talking about here?
The one that popped into my mind, the very first one, there was supposedly, this was an anonymous tip that there was a rolling 60 apartment over on Reno that was slinging drugs, and that the people that shot Tupac had driven up to this apartment and handed the gun off for drugs. I then attempted to locate, usually gangs are going to rent an apartment, they're going to rent it in a girl's name. So I was looking, and I'm talking 8 years after the fact, I'm talking about trying to find an apartment rented by a girl that has association with the Rolling 60s. I never found it. So I couldn't track down the 60s that may have the gun that would be attached to the killing of Tupac.
I see. And during the time that you were performing your duties as the detective on this particular file, did you ever keep your own officer reports?
Yes.
And just explain for us a little bit about your, common course of how you would do that.
An officer's report is like who, what, when, where, why. So you say that there was an anonymous tip. Let's just talk about this tip. Anonymous tip at this date. I did these phone calls, met with this apartment complex, and couldn't locate anybody that was attached to the Rolling 60s in any fashion. So it literally would be an officer's report that's maybe a paragraph. There was another tip that the gun had been dropped from the shooting vehicle that went back to California that night, and it was on the side of the road. Ridiculous. But 8 years later, we went out, we walked that section of the freeway, both sides, looking for a gun. We didn't find it. That officer's report was about a sentence. Those kind of things, those kind of things are the things that we were trying to run down.
Right. And so, in terms of officer reports, fair to say that a lot of officer reports of your efforts in this particular investigation.
Those officers' reports don't exist anymore that I could find.
Okay. And why is that?
From what I was told was when we moved from the F drive to the H drive, those reports had to be scanned, and in some process they were lost.
So, what we're relying on, clearly, it would be your recollection of what you remember from that time period. Correct. Okay. And once again, if you don't remember, you don't remember. Correct. Okay. Now, at some point, though, you have an opportunity to interact with law enforcement officers in Compton. Or is it, no, I'm sorry, at that period, probably would have been the sheriffs or LA sheriffs.
Yes, I usually went directly to LAPD, but yes, the sheriff's office also.
LAPD. Can you tell us a little bit about any interaction you might have had with them specifically about a firearm?
You're talking about the 06?
Yes.
Yeah. I received a phone call from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department saying that there was a gun recovered by Compton PD in 1998. Yard of 1301 Sloan. which is inside the Compton area. The Compton Crips area, I should say. And they believe that this gun was supposedly buried in the backyard, and it was turned over to the Compton Police Department. The Compton Police Department dissolved, and so the Sheriff's Department was starting to run all these guns through ATF and ballistics, and they believe this may be the gun that we were looking for. They were fairly adamant that this was the gun that we were looking for, that was the murder weapon of Tupac. I then made a drive to...
How convenient. The gun that you were looking for went to Compton PD, and the evidence is lost or not preserved. Is that what you're about to tell us?
LA with my sergeant. We picked up the gun. They had it in an evidence box. I assigned a receipt to them that they kept. I then drove the gun back to Las Vegas, drove it directly to our ballistics lab, and I turned the gun over to Jim Kryler. I then filled out a request to have that ballistics tested against the gun that was used to kill Tupac. Before I managed to drive back to the office, I received a phone call and told me it was not good. I told him that he wanted me to come back and pound it and put it into our evidence vault. I told him I'd come back in the morning and I would pick up the gun and I would take it back to LA because it may be of interest in LA in another company.
And outside of that incident, were there any other instances where you found what potentially could be that situation and had?
Myself, no, but there were thousands of guns that were tested.
And as far as you know, as the responsible detective at that time, were any of those thousands of guns come back with a hit or match to the spent cartridge cases that we found?
No.
Now, in addition to that, at some point in the future, you travel to California again to conduct an interview.
Yes, sir.
That would have been in 2009.
Correct.
Can you tell?
Saying that there's somebody that wanted to give information about Tupac and Tupac's murder. We then drove down on the morning of September 9th. They wanted us to meet them at the HIDA office, which is at 1340 West 6th Street in LA, which is about 6 blocks from Plaza One. We met them there. I would then met Detective Darren Dupree, and he told me that Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefe, was in the interview room. He had his attorney present, whose name was Wayne Higgins, and we were going to go in and he was going to give me information. And he further explained that Keefe had got caught with a large amount of narcotics and was trying to work off those charges.
Now, sir, just to cut you off there for that point. But with regards to that information, at some point you conduct the interview after.
Yes, sir.
With Mr. Davis.
With Mr. Davis, with his attorney, my lieutenant didn't want to go in, so Darren Dupree agreed to go with me.
Okay. And there was a recording. Did you record the meeting?
I did.
Okay. Is that just standard operating procedure for what you do as a detective?
Yes, I was told that they were going to record it also, but I wanted to record it myself. That way I have it in my hands.
Okay. And during the course of that meeting, you learned information, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about the interaction here? Were you ever asked to leave the room?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us why you were asked to leave the room?
Mr. Davis became very nervous. I was asking questions that he didn't feel comfortable with, which is to be expected. And he asked me to leave the room. He wanted to talk to his attorney and he wanted to talk to Detective Dupree. I then stepped out of the room for not very long, and then they asked me to come back in.
Was there ever a time that you left the room and was accompanied by Mr. Dupree and only had two Higgins and Mr. Davis themselves?
I don't recall that.
So every time you left, Mr. Dupree was in the room with Mr. Higgins and Mr. Davis?
Yes, sir.
Now, at some point, you were able to learn some information
From Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you came back, did you corroborate any of the information?
I tried.
And what did you do with that information?
During the interview, Mr. Davis indicated first that Orlando Anderson, or Baby Lem, had been beat up at the MGM, which we all had been. I think everybody on the planet has seen this video. He was then complaining that his arm was either broken or out of socket. He first told me that they had gone back to California and gone to the hospital in California. But he said they went to the hospital on Maryland Parkway, and the hospital on Maryland Parkway is Sunrise, and that he had gotten a sling for his arm. So I filled out a subpoena, and I wanted to know if Orlando had signed in, was examined in any fashion, and now we're talking, this is 2009, we're talking about somebody coming into the emergency room in 1996. So I didn't find it. They couldn't apply, they couldn't give me anything with Orlando's name on it. We were looking into, there was a rented Cadillac, rented in Compton, by a friend of the gang. Her name was, or her daughter's name. There was a woman by the name of Harris, and first name could have been Teresa, could have been Tessa. And again, we're talking multiple years later. But I called down trying to locate a Cadillac that was rented in 1996. They said it was a friend of the gang. So it's very possible that there was no paperwork. But we're going to try. I called multiple rent-a-car places because he couldn't remember which rent-a-car place it was.
That's not what I'm
And
saying.
I never found anything connected to that date or those dates around that for a four-door white Cadillac.
That's not what I'm
Oh, yeah.
At first, a question mark.
Now, in addition to that, sir, did you ever run at some point any names to determine,
I ain't my fucking fingers.
sort of help you out with the landscape?
Motherfucker.
For instance, did you ever run a name by the name of Darnell Grimm?
Oh, you're talking about before the interview.
Yes.
When I received the call that we were going to go down and do an interview, I ran everybody that was in the file. And the purpose of that being is if I'm in the middle of an interview and he mentions somebody, I might have information, this person's in jail, this person's dead, this person's in prison. Those could be very useful to me in the middle of an interview. When I go into the interview, I'm going to be acting very non-involved. I don't know anything. Please tell me. So he's like, okay, we were going after, we're talking about Pac. Okay, who's Pac? Well, Tupac, sure. Okay, so I'm going to do that the entire interview. But if I have more names, more information, I at least know what he's talking about, so I can direct him in the right direction to give me a full name.
The FBI in Compton, LA.
While I was there,
Yes.
no. I was told that he had been, Dwayne Davis was arrested on a major drug case, and he was facing the rest of his life in prison. And he was trying to work that case off. So when I was sitting out there and I learned that he's sitting there with his attorney, I'm like, he's not going to tell me anything. They're like, well, he's trying to work this off, and it's about Tupac. I'm like, all right, let's try this. So we went in, but we finished. We made a drive over to Plaza One. Then we left. I received some phone calls at that point, and received more information when we got back to Vegas that there could be possibly a problem, which made no sense to me.
Now, just one final question for you, and it's unrelated to anything that we've asked so far. The question is this: are you aware of a program here in town called Barry's Boxing?
I've heard of it.
I have no further questions.
Thank you. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mark? I'm in District Jacksonville.
You went to homicide in 2000, correct?
That's correct.
And Mike Frank said Brent Becker. Well, I guess Mike probably retired before Brent left you, correct?
Well, he trained me for a while. Mike was preparing to retire, so the desk I was going to get was his. And I was trying to soak up as much as I could from him because he was a very, very senior detective. Him and Brent Becker were very, very good detectives, so I was trying to suck up as much as I could. That was the squad I was going to anyway.
And when Sergeant Manning hands you the Tupac file, you already had an understanding from Mike Franks and Brent Becker of who you thought was in the car.
Yes.
And when Mr. Davis in 2009 tells you that, it's the same people.
Yes, sir.
I think maybe missed one of your trips to Compton prior to, I guess, November of 2004 when he died. In early 2004, did you try and make contact with Big Dre Smith?
Yes.
And describe that for us.
I was with actually a gang squad, and this is during the time when you can read it all. You can read all this information, but it's better if you go down there and look at it, especially when. So I went down to look at it. They were taking me on a tour, most of Compton. They took me to the car wash where Orlando died, that kind of thing. While we were driving by the Emerson Elementary School, which is right in the center of the Compton Crip. Some of the guys, I was driving in the backseat and taking notes. They said, there goes Big Dre, DeAndre Smith, which is somebody that's obviously in Brent Becker's files. And he was walking through the field, the grass field. So I was like, well, stop when you talk to me. You gotta try. You know, I have no probable cause. I have no legal right to make a stop. I'm not even in my jurisdiction, but I can try. So I stepped out of the car and I said, Mr. Smith, I'm Detective Long from Las Vegas. And he said, F you and F Long. He's not censoring anything he said. And he just lumbers across the field. So I had no reason to stop him. So I just waited.
Now in 2009, you wind up in a room with Mr. Davis. Your belief is he's trying to work off charges. Because that
he's looking, literally, he's looking at the rest of his life in prison for what they had caught him. So if he gives substantial information about cases, that's what they had brought him in for, was to give information about cases. One of the cases was the Wallace case, Notorious B.I.G. During this part of it, he started telling them about Tupac, and this is in 2008. So that's what I was told.
but essentially, and I'm talking about specifically, what is just working off your charges? Does Metro have certain rules, let me ask you, about working off charges and how you work off charges?
Yes. And a non-victim crime, you can work off charges. If you can't work off of murder, you can't work off of sexual assault, you can't work certain victim crimes. if you have a victim, you can't work off those charges. But if you have something else, that like a lot of drugs, you could work off maybe the amount of years you're doing by giving substantial case information on other cases. So that's what I believe that Mr. Davis and his attorney were trying to do, was to knock off a certain amount of time off of what he was going to spend in prison.
And you know, or at least you believe, you'd agree with me, that Mr. Davis was a suspect in your homicide, not a witness.
Yes, sir.
And by the end of that interview, what is your intent?
My intent was to drive back to Las Vegas, type up a warrant for an arrest, clear it with the district attorney, and have Mr. Davis arrested for murder.
Now, at that point, did you and members of my team have an opportunity to actually listen to the recording?
Yes, sir.
And we heard the section where you're not in the room, correct?
That's correct.
And then, so did we give you some direction?
Yes. So this is several weeks after I come back. I met with. This is several weeks after I come back from California with the recording. So we brought the recording and the transcription over. The DA reviewed it. They invited me over, and they told me that they were not going to go forward with prosecution at that time because they're.
Let me ask a lot of complications. Let me ask it this way. Were you directed to find out the circumstances of why it was that a suspect in our homicide was in a room with his lawyer and a task force officer having that conversation?
Yes.
And at this point, you've been told there might...
Yeah, I gotta pause this for a second. Isn't half of the stuff they talking about in that little proffer agreement? I want to see if AB's gonna mention that.
be a proffer somewhere out there in 2008.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And proffers are between lawyers and sovereigns, correct?
That's correct.
So it's either going to be the U.S. Attorney's Office or the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office, but it certainly wasn't the state of Nevada or the Clark County District Attorney's Office.
That's correct.
And did you make efforts to find out from Wayne Higgins what the nature of that agreement was between him and some other sovereign?
Yes. Mr. Higgins as well as others. Yes.
And you would agree with me that Mr. Higgins wouldn't return our calls?
That's correct.
Did you attempt to contact?
Different things. I didn't specifically go back in time and do what they did.
It jumped, but that was good, Spicy Cross. Why did it jump? It jumped during the cross. Law and Crime has cut the feed to the last 7 minutes. I'm going to bring it back to make sure we didn't miss anything.
I asked him if he gets arrested.
By the way, I hate when they do that. Usually when they do that, something happens in the feed that they have to cut the rest of it. I don't know why. We've been live for 1 hour and 10 minutes, and I started like 2 minutes in. So they cut the rest of their feed intentionally. So I am now at the very beginning. You might hear some sentences that have already been mentioned, but the reason why is I want to make sure we don't miss anything. Law and Crime is notorious for this, but let's go back on it.
For whatever reason, to give me a call, and I want to come down and talk to him. Yeah.
And ultimately, that never happens. You never get a phone call saying, hey, we got Bubble Up in custody, come down here, let's interview Bubble Up.
Correct. Bubble Up is the street name for Mr. Brown.
And so by the time you retire in 2017, we have no statement from Bubble Up.
No.
And we still don't know the circumstances surrounding why those three people were in a room talking to you.
No. I believed I did at that time, but obviously I didn't.
Thank you.
They cut that cross on purpose.
Can you tell us who from the district attorney's office you were speaking to during that time period?
Mostly,
If something that's probably what happened. You guys see that? Let's go back 10 seconds. A deputy comes into the crowd, and whoever that person is in the crowd is being asked to leave. Who is that? That's probably why they cut the broadcast.
Can you tell us who from the district attorney's office you were speaking to during that time period?
Oh no, they're being asked to move aside.
mostly it would be Pam Merkley.
Who was the other UNIC or the district attorney as well besides Pam Merkley?
The entire MVU.
Try YouTube Premium. Don't mind if I do. It's ad-free, 0 interruptions. Maybe there's a happy little tree that lives right here. There. Keeps playing even after the screen box. No Wi-Fi? I can still watch on the go. YouTube Premium is like YouTube got that extra kick. Don't need that. If you like YouTube, you'll love YouTube Premium. Try it now for 2 months free. You charged the case.
Yes.
And you came back, you reached out to the district attorney's office, and you said, hey, we think we should charge this case.
Yes.
And they did not immediately give you a response to what you were going to do.
No, they told me to stand down and they were going to review it. I got the information to them as quickly as I could. It had to be typed up by one of our secretaries, but I did make sure they got the audio as quick as they could. There was plenty of probable cause to arrest for murder.
Sure. Now, just for the jury's edification, probable cause is not judged.
Say that again.
Probable cause is not judged. Right?
No, that's what we do here.
That's correct. And in terms of the information that you had learned at the time that you met with Mr. Davis, did you verify any of that information?
Let's say it again, I'm sorry.
Did you verify any of the information in that recording in 2009 that Mr. Davis said?
I wasn't able to.
And once again, verification meaning cooperation, right?
That's correct.
In fact, I think on the recording you had told Mr. Davis a couple times, look, even though what you're doing is true, I still need to corroborate this information.
That's correct.
And that would have been your standard operating procedure with anyone telling you anything.
That's correct.
So for instance, as you're sitting here right now, you have any... I'm going to reject the leading. I'm sorry, I'm so
Hard, I know.
let me ask it this way.
Rephrase.
Yes, I'll rephrase. Did you make, was there any information that you ever received about whether or not Mr. Davis was in Las Vegas in September 1996? Or was there any information?
You can say yes or no.
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
And was there, did you ever have, when you reviewed the file of this case, were there any people calling in saying that they did it? They did the murder?
Sure.
Can you give us a number or an amount?
There was a lot. There was quite a few. I mean, I had information that Bill Clinton had him killed. There was no, we did not. There was a lot of calls, a lot of people claiming to have been involved. No.
Yeah. And fair to say,
Most of the time they couldn't get any of the information correct.
right. And so when you're determining, for instance, a confession, what are you looking for? Like, if someone says, I confess to this, what information do you use to determine whether it's correct or not?
They're like, what kind of vehicle were you in? How did the shooting occur? What kind of firearm was it? Where did you go from there? What preceded it? How did you? All of it. I mean, anything that you can find as in facts, you want to connect to them. I'm behind the 8 ball because I'm 15 years after the fact, or 14 years after the fact, trying to corroborate different things. But I mean, I made the attempts.
And with regards to the information that we're talking about here, was any of the information you're sharing with us already available to the public?
I don't know. I I'm sure there was information that's out there. I mean, there was so much interest in the case, I'm sure there was.
Now, just finally, in terms of your reaching out to people, Mr. Seawright, who is he?
The Attorney General of California.
And the District Attorney's Office requested that you reach out to the Attorney General of California.
They were going to do it. I was going to do it. Whoever could do it, which would be great.
And then in terms of the other people on this degree or detective degree, when was the first time you ever met Mr. Degree or detective?
I'm not positive.
Was it in the meeting in 2009?
No, I met him before that.
Can you give us sort of an estimation as to when it was?
A couple of years before. I think it had to do with one of the gun trip. I think it's when I met him.
And just for my identification with that gun, was it a real gun?
Yeah, Glock 40. There's a lot of Glock 40s out there. I had no idea there was that many.
Thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Sampson, were you able to corroborate information that Mr. Davis gave you? You're talking about information you didn't already know, correct?
Correct.
There was a substantial amount of information in this file that Mr. Davis, Mr. Brown, Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Smith were in the car the night when the murder occurred.
Yes. The way I took when he asked me that is, did I do cooperation? Brent Becker and Mike Franks, the original detectives, cooperated a lot of different things. I didn't specifically go back in time and duplicate.
You were relying upon the information they already had. So when Mr. Davis is telling you this story, it's not like the crazies that are calling saying, I killed Tupac and or Tupac's still alive or all any of that stuff.
That's correct.
Nothing.
Any redraft? Ladies and gentlemen, is there any questions for Detective Long? Yeah.
Alright, a couple questions for Long. Then it sounds like they arrested, because y'all know the people that come and chat from Law and Crime, they're like,
oh my god, Amy, like, I was just in Law and Crime chat, and they're about to rest in 5 minutes, and look at keeping me clapping like I won, chat. Look at me, thumbs up. It's going down.
so it looks like we are going to get very close to a resolution. I'm so sad. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. Like, I thought we had 4 to 6 weeks. What happened behind the scenes for these people to just end the trial now? Who's involved? Because Suge Knight over here is saying that the defense team offered him $1 million, so KPD just all of a sudden came into some shmoney. Where did the money come from? Who gave it to him? Why is the trial ending on day 8? And that, you know, that man on the stand got paid. He looked like he got paid. So what happened? Here's the question. All right, we have one jury question for Detective Long. And then we have 2 state rebuttal witnesses after this chat. Then we will see what the scheduling is like for closing arguments, and ultimately we will be on jury verdict watch. I anticipate that it's going to be a quick decision if they are asking this many questions.
When your lieutenant said too many people were going into the Tupac murder file, what did they mean?
Good question. Officers were curious, and they would go in and see what was in, because there was a lot of stuff in social media. So they were going in to look and read. So he decided that wasn't going to happen anymore. This information would get out. So he locked it down.
Were you the only one assigned to Tupac states?
In 2004, Sergeant Manningham gave a case to do any follow-up. There was a full squad of 6 detectives, so all of them were there to help. And we had some very experienced, very talented detectives on the squad. So I would lean on them. Everybody's curious why would they hand these to me? But I had access to some very, very experienced, excellent detectives.
Were you able to interview everyone who occupied the cream and white Cadillac? Or is alleged?
No. I tried to talk to Big Ray, DeAndre Smith. He died at sea. Orlando died in 1998 in a shootout in a car wash. Mr. Brown died in, I believe it was 2008.
Did you ever interview Shipman about the shootings during the interview process?
I tried. I had a partner that had played football with him and knew him very, very well. And I was complaining that I had never talked to Ship on the phone. So my partner says, oh, I can do a phone call. You have it right now. And he made a phone call about the Ship. Ship hung up on it. It was San Jose.
Do you know which arm was hurt, right or left arm for Orlando Anderson?
No, I did not. Sorry.
Were you able to verify and confirm Mr. Davis was actually in the white Cadillac Black the night of Tupac's murder? Yes, that's the question. Sorry, the handwriting. Were you able to verify and confirm Mr. Davis was actually in the white Cadillac the night of Tupac's murder?
By Mr. Davis telling me this is a white Cadillac on the night of the murder. The shooting came from that same white Cadillac.
Any follow-up based on that, Mr. Safety?
But no actual facts outside of what Mr. Davis told you.
No.
No further questions.
Mr. DiGiacomo? No. All right, you are excused. Mrs. Hector?
Thank you. Fireworks system.
Wow.
Mr.
That was
Safety,
quick.
Do you rest? State any rebuttal witnesses.
No, Your Honor.
Wow.
So this time, the presentation of the evidence in this case is
Wow.
amongst ourselves to settle the law that applies to this case.
Wow.
We're going to have everyone back on Monday at 9 a.m. for closing.
Oh my God.
Dang, 9 a.m. Monday?
During recess, you're going to talk, of course, amongst yourselves, or if anyone else on any subject that
Okay, we don't even got court tomorrow. Look at that.
Any person connected to this case, by any means of information, including without limitations from the television, internet, radio, or form or express any opinion on any subject that
Wow.
is submitted to you. Please rise for the jury, everyone.
Wow.
Okay. I'll wait later on for a little dirt.
Ain't no rebuttal witnesses. What? TPD clapping, doing a thumbs up. He thinks he's going home. He happy. He's in good spirits. This is the happiest we've seen this man
Yep.
in 8 days.
All right, the jury is exited. You see it? Scheduling wise, what remains to be done is jury's instructions being settled. What time do we want to do this tomorrow? I was leaving that up to defense because there were some obligations that they had. Does 9 o'clock work better for you? We'll do tomorrow at 9 then?
Yeah.
And I think we should be done by the time that you need. And Mr. Davis, do you want to be present to settle jury instructions? It's up to you. It's kind of like legal arguments. If you want to be here, we'd be happy to have you. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to.
Nah, I don't even care.
Waive your appearance for that? Okay. So I'll then just see the attorneys back 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Little Bill.
9 a.m.
Not presentation of evidence. It's just settling the jury instructions.
Okay, so that's gonna be noon.
The next
Noon.
big thing for everybody everyone watching at home is going to be closings 9 a.m. on Monday.
Wow.
All right, see everyone back 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh my word, Chad. This is wrong, dude. Wrong. Keefy D's confident. He's very confident that he's coming home today. Super confident. You know Mo Preem and them. Oh, they coming up. They coming up. Mo Preem and them. Oh, they're actually leaving. That's Mo Preem there. Tupac's sister. Looks like they have their personal security. They don't look pleased. But at the end of the day, you guys know that they have their own lawsuit against Keefy D and individuals that they believe are involved with
Damn, that was
wrongful
quick.
death of Tupac Shakur. The estate is still suing. There's an active lawsuit right now. Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, is one of the lead attorneys on that case. So although we're looking at what the state of Nevada did here, the information that came out in this case is fair game for the civil trial, okay? It happens all the time. Information that comes out in criminal trials is fair game for civil trials. Now let's see. I mean, I'm gonna come to y'all's poll. We are back on Monday on this case. In the poll, every day I poll you guys in live trials. And you have like a few seconds to get your last minute vote in. Put it up an hour ago. How is it looking for Keefy D today? You guys dropped from 65% that he was cooked to 43% he is still cooked. He has risen from 20% that he has a shot to beat this to 39% he has a shot to beat this. 18% of you are not sure yet. At this point in time in live trials, this is where I stop giving the not sure yet people a chance. When I say that, I mean you're going to have to pick a side. Because on Monday, jury instructions are going to be, I think we're going to go dark tomorrow. And that's not me. I think per Law and Crime, I did read that from the executive producer at Law and Crime. Tomorrow they may not televise the jury instructions because it's probably going to take them like 20, 30 minutes to be honest. But on Monday, we will see closing arguments from the state. And that's going to be the state of Nevada's last attempt to tell us what happened in this case, to tell the jury why this defendant is guilty, and go from there. Michael Stant is going to get up there, and he's probably going to talk about reports and maps and things, but he's also going to tell you what he said on day one, that Keefy D's full of shit, and that he's a liar, and that you should not convict him of murder. They don't have this evidence. They couldn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. He did want to move through this fast. He did. I've always wondered why he chose to do it pro bono. Pro bono meaning that, as attorneys, you do need to we have a certain set of hours a year where we do need to donate our time to cases, right? That's what pro bono means. It means free. Gratis. Alright? Gratis. So you have that situation happening. I always wondered why. This is KPD's third lawyer or third legal team. You had the investigator that works for Michael Stant sitting behind him every step of the way in this trial. And then same thing with the young...
At Sophia Learning, we believe in making education more accessible and affordable for everyone. That's why we offer online college-level courses that are transfer-friendly. We know students are real people with real challenges, but Sophia can be a real solution. Sign up today and fast-track your degree.
Him and Uncle Gene Deal said that they approached him too. I mean, F it, we're gonna take a little copyright risk here. This came out 2 days ago.
Another opinion about KPD even being on trial, being offered by the game, who says that he's a scapegoat. He says everybody in Compton who's connected knows who killed Tupac Shakur, but they're not saying. Is that accurate that whoever it is that's going around?
No, it's not accurate. No, it's not accurate at all because everybody's up there lying. Number one, KPD says that I met with his attorney and Reggie Sr. to give his nephew some bread. I was in the county jail. That's all you gotta do is check the time and see where I was at. But the crazy thing about this, everybody using it as a way to be like, look at me, look at me. I ain't doing this saying, look at me, look at me. I'm doing this saying, hey, that's my homie. And his life wasn't no motherfucking circus. And his life wasn't about people just talking to be talking. And KPD and attorneys was like, hey, we'll give you a half a ticket. We'll give you $1 million. They talk to this person that works in Puffy. They talk to this person who works with them. All the lawyers get together. And I told them, look, my loyalty and love for Tupac can't be compromised with nobody.
Wait, hey, Shug, wait, you're saying that they offered you $1 million to do what?
To say that he wasn't there, he wasn't in the car, and all this other
Wait a minute, he who?
KPD.
But I thought the whole argument was that KTD was not necessarily there even, but that he orchestrated it.
Okay, the attorney talked to me, put me out in this prison right here. Was like, hey, we got a half ticket, $1 million. That's all you gotta say. He wasn't there, right? I said, oh, I ain't saying shit. But at the same time, my loyalty and love to Tupac can't be compromised.
It almost sounds to me like what you're saying is KTD didn't do what prosecutors say, that it was orchestrated by somebody else, and therefore what would TPD's involvement be if somebody else was orchestrating this?
It was definitely more than one person involved. Everybody got their hands in it, and the people who got their hands in it is trying to muddy the waters. And the only person who's slow is KPD. Well, it's sort of sad for him, you know, that I'm not saying that he's guilty or innocent. That man's on trial fighting for his life. It's sad the fact that the police who was involved did what they wanted to do for the other people. They did.
And wait, did you say that the police were involved?
1,000%. 3 cops, all 3 cops. I ain't never knew Rampart police. I ain't never knew none of those dudes. They all knew those dudes. I ain't never met with none of those dudes and cool with them, nothing like that. And then when KPD said that I bought him a police car, I ain't never bought the police shit. But what I said, the most important thing about all this, you got lawyers involved. You got a female lawyer who dates Snoop, who dates KPD's son, who dates Puffy best friend. So all this is a sexual mix. And so everybody using everything they do to help each other out. Gang got Easy on him. Gang got Nipsey on him. Gang don't have no Tupac on him. Gang ally is Puffy. That's what he brought the Lamborghini for. You know, all this other shit. I ain't feeling none of that. It's starting to get to the point where it gets real disrespectful.
Well, dear Chad, I don't know what to make of this. I really don't. I've never seen anything like this before because it was so unplanned. It was so unplanned. They were so confident that we were going to go for 4 to 6 weeks. They were starting to talk about witnesses for next week. And then all of a sudden, randomly, the shit just changed yesterday. Day 8 changed the game. Something has been brewing behind the scenes, and I don't know what it is. Usually I'm pretty on top of it. I really am. But let me, I mean, since we're here, let me pull up the family's lawsuit, the Tupac estate lawsuit. I'm gonna put this up in my members area as well, so y'all can see it. But for anybody that's interested right now, here it is, okay? This was in the works. It was filed at the end of April, okay? Now, in it, it's actually filed on behalf of the Shakur estate. So Mopreem and the sister are doing this together as the estate of Matula Shakur. They would have done it under the mom, but they had to do it under Matula because I think it was already in progress back then. The complaint for damages is wrongful death. Okay? So we knew we were going to go to trial. But on April 28th of 2026, this was filed in LA, not in Las Vegas. Okay? So they needed KPD stuff to play out so we can see what is happening. Now look at who the estate is suing. KPD is the main one, because you have to have the main person. And then does 1 through 100. What does does 1 through 100 mean? It likely means that there are almost 100 people listed as defendants. They do that because it's a complaint. The complaint has time to survive, people are going to drop off, all of that stuff. Typically, these things settle. I just did the Courtney Clenny case, you know, the white girl that threw the knife at the black man, stabbed, she stabbed him. I believe she stabbed him, and it was murder. But she says she flung the knife at him. OnlyFans model, making millions of dollars. Hit a vital artery, and he just randomly died. He did survive. She took 6 to 11 minutes to call 911, call her mama first instead of getting help. But then we learned that she was straight up abusing him. But then she goes, there was abuse on me too. And that's why she sat in jail for 3-4 years. Accepted a plea deal, probably out in 2. But does the family get justice for that? Guess what? In that case, they had a civil lawsuit just like this going. Because what happens is you put the person through the criminal ringer, right? But then if you do the civil lawsuit as well, if they come for money, for her, she comes for money. Her dad was an investment banker, but she also had that OnlyFans money sitting while she was in jail. I think OnlyFans disbanded her account, and then at the same time, her Instagram's still up. They left all that evidence up. I showed it to y'all. It's crazy. Anyway, in this case, the Shakur estate could have done this in 2023 when Keefe D was arrested. They waited. What was included in the big portions of this, I'll scroll to it, was what came out in the Reckoning documentaries that 50 did in last fall. And what was it? Did we do Diddy's case, his sentencing in October? Damn, it's almost been a year. The sentencing was in October. The Reckoning came out a little bit after that, right around Thanksgiving, Christmas. But there were facts about the Tupac murder, I think it was episode 2 or 3 in the Reckoning, included in this lawsuit. Because the Shakur family's like, hey, how did y'all learn about all this stuff from like Kirk Barrows and Bad Boy? Because that was information that the Shakur family didn't have. So then you look at who put together the documentary. Where'd y'all get this information from? So there's some big money behind this, I believe. There's stuff that we cannot see in the public space. But as far as criminal trials, I've never seen one like this. I've never seen one run like this. I mean, let's be fair on both sides. Has anybody ever seen a trial where somebody could put you on trial for writing one of these? No. I mean, maybe. The lady down in Dan Markel, his wife wrote a book while, his murders happened. Or before, something like that. But Keefe D's confessing to it. He's promoting the book. He's doing Vlad TV. He's doing Art of Dialogue. It's literally confessions. These are confessions, public confessions, but are they true? I think the bigger part and what we've learned is some of the police mishaps that are just egregious. Y'all don't follow up on shit? What? What do you hide? Y'all know those jewels y'all love? What do y'all hide? Have Suge on the witness list. Now Suge is like, oh, they offered me $1 million. And some of you, okay, let's ask. Do y'all think Suge is telling the truth about that? Did Keefe D's lawyers offer him $1 million? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe that's true. And put a 2 in the chat if you don't believe it's true. We don't have facts to substantiate it. I'm just doing a public poll to see what y'all think. Whew. Crazy. Yeah, y'all like, hell no. But let's come back to this because I know people are curious, okay? So let's look at the lawsuit. This was filed, and the timing for me is what I wanted to focus on for wrongful death, okay? And all these people that are being sued. Keefe D is the primary defendant, but this is on the civil side, so collectively there are other John Does that they name them John Does because they're sealing the names for right now. But ultimately these people will be served with the lawsuit. So it tells you what happens to Tupac, the shooting in Las Vegas. He died at the age of 25 for nearly 3 decades. Nobody was held accountable civilly or criminally for the brutal murder, whose effects remain palpable to this day. Witnesses were unwilling to cooperate with the police. Investigations immediately following his death ran dry. Even multi-agency task force that was commissioned several years later to investigate the murders of both Tupac and Biggie. It made no arrests. It resulted to no arrests. In the absence of any investigations, conspiracy theories flourished for decades. Some speculated that Biggie, Tupac's perceived rival, was responsible, while others theorized that Suge Knight did it. The theories were countless, but similar in that no matter the alleged perpetrator, many suggested that Tupac's murder was gang-related. He was murdered by members of the Southside Compton Crips after an altercation at the MGM earlier that evening between Orlando and several members of Death Row, including Tupac. Importantly, none of these theories, no matter how widespread, were supported by concrete evidence. So the family's not convinced. I don't think they were walking into this. Mopreen was saying it on CNN. We're cautiously optimistic. So this one might be bigger than what we're watching right now. I think maybe you get more truth with this one. Who knows? Anywho, nearly 30 years after Tupac's death in 2023, this is paragraph 3 in the complaint. The first and only arrest was made, related to grand jury transcripts in a subsequent Netflix documentary, have since revealed the existence of a broader, more complex conspiracy to murder Tupac that involved much more than mere retaliation for a prior altercation. Despite this additional information, however, the truth remains elusive. Many individuals who were involved have long since passed away, while others have been made hard to identify. Yet one thing is certain. There remain individuals who were involved in Tupac's murder who for 30 years have not been held accountable for their crimes. This action seeks to change that and recover the damages for wrongful death of Tupac on behalf of the estate of Mutulu Shakur, Tupac's late stepfather and parent. Okay, so that's what they're looking for. The parties involved, they talk about who Tupac is. They talk about Afeni, the marriage, Mutulu Shakur here as a stepfather. I think there's some pictures in here that are coming along as well, but they have to really give you some color in Tupac's relation to Mutulu, what their relationship was like, all of that. So you see some childhood pictures here. Looks like that is Pac on the right-hand side. Photo of Mutulu and Tupac together when Tupac was a child. Photo of Tupac and Mutulu in 1993. So they have to really show you the relationship. Letters that Tupac had written to Mutulu. Looks like we have Suge's phone number right there. All those writings are about Mutulu, and then you have the children. So you have Tupac's sister. Mutulu passes in 2023 in LA. Afeni died in 2016 in California, Marin County. Upon their death, that's when this estate was established. So it looks like it started with Afeni. The estate was established, and then Mutulu became the head of it. And then when he passed, it then went down to Mopreme and the sister. Okay, now Keefe D comes in here. They call him here in this document the shot caller of the Southside Compton Crips. And they talk about the day that this happened, September 7th, the white Cadillac. Then you have the date that he was arrested, and the grand jury indicted him. Keefe D is the only person that's been criminally charged with Tupac's death. Defendants John Doe's 1 through 100 are individuals whose identities and whose specific roles in the conspiracy to murder Tupac are not presently known to the estate with sufficient certainty to permit identification in this complaint. So the estate is being careful. Very, very careful. And I can see this is they have a good legal team. Especially if you're getting Spyro on it. Spyro got that whole Jane Doe lady off the Spyro got the whole Jane Doe lady off of Jay-Z. That case flew away in like a month. It was gone. So if Spyro signed on to this one, I think it's a big deal. So I'm going to look into the case file before Monday over the weekend and see if I can find any movement from this case and then share it with you guys on Monday, because it might explain why Keefy D's case is, 8 days, like none of us saw that coming. With the quickness, just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Insane. Let's keep going. While the investigation and public record have revealed names of certain individuals who may have participated or facilitated the murder, the specific nature and extent of each individual's involvement and the identities of individuals who may have participated in the planning, financing, and directing and carrying out of the conspiracy remain unknown. To date, plaintiff has been unable to confirm through independent investigation the precise roles of specific individuals, or to distinguish among potential defendants with certainty. So they want to be sure, required to name them in this complaint. Plaintiff identifies these defendants by fictitious names, and that's why they say John Doe, right? The Doe defendants. They have to find out through discovery. So this is gonna be an LA County case. It will.
We've created an ideal combatant to be deployed against the
way. The court has jurisdiction, venue is proper, all of that stuff checks out here. Tolling and delayed discovery. So because in California you might have some tolling on the discovery rules, things like that, people trying to get, destroy evidence and stuff like that. They give you some case law. That's why I didn't want to go through this whole thing. In 97, a Faney filed a wrongful death action against Orlando Anderson and others in LA. Right, that case exists. I could probably pull it up for us on Monday if y'all want to look at it. That action was dismissed without prejudice. Anderson was murdered in May of 1998 in an unrelated incident. So she was initially coming after him, a few other people. That case file should be nice to look at. But we're going to have to open it up to take a peek. In 2006, the LA Police Department created a task force. Greg Kading was on it. He led the task force. In addition, Tupac's, for people that were responsible for Tupac's murder and those who financed, directed, and coordinated it, their family has to be looking at Diddy. Like,
yep.
Financed, directed, and coordinated it. Finance could be one person. Directed could be another person. Coordinated it could be people.
Yep.
And engaged in deliberate and sustained pattern of concealment and denial spanning 3 decades. They know that this is big, which prevented the plaintiff from discovering the factual basis for the claims alleged therein. Those who have been identified as potentially involved have denied it. Witnesses refused to come forward, and law enforcement failed to make any arrests for nearly 30 years in connection with Tupac's murder. They arrested Keefy D in September of 23. In or around 23, portions of the grand jury transcripts have come out, so they've been looking at it. The transcripts revealed for the first time the substance of Keefy D's 2008 proffer session, including statements involving individuals beyond those present in the white Cadillac used during the shooting. So all this stuff is just, it's going to be used as evidence in the civil case. it's just sad. You gotta feel bad because it's like, is this justice for Tupac on the criminal side? Because if you have people lying, I thought half of y'all were crazy with these conspiracies. I was only 6 years old when this happened, but I thought half of y'all were crazy, but I ain't never seen nothing like this in 4 or 5 years of trial streaming. I swear to God, I've never seen a case just end abruptly in the middle. And some of y'all were saying yesterday, oh, it could be a strategy because the prosecution is confident. Confident in the middle of telling your story when you had other witnesses lined up? How do you just... Let us come to some super chats, guys, and then I'm going to get up on it out of here. As far as the game plan, we're back on Monday for this case. Tomorrow I'm going to take time to get up to speed on Yellow Beezy. It has started. I think they're on day 2. So we can circle back to Yellow Beezy. I know you guys are thinking about dirt. Man, listen. This is why I be telling you, I don't like the trials where people go inside and then come outside and then they're not legal people. You know what I mean? There are some attorneys there. There are a few. But like they're running up on Trap Lord Ross and all that, and like the Dirk fans, the Dirk Hero fans are not playing. Like they're in it. And then there was that dude on the stand yesterday, so that there's some stuff happening there, but it's too far along. I mean, I could go out to Cali and do that for y'all, but
No.
I don't know. It might be too late.
Yeah.
The fact is, though, the Yellow BZ point, we are getting in at the right time. It's only day 2 over there, and if I got a free day tomorrow, we can watch day 1 and 2 tomorrow and catch up on that one. KPD's jury thing. I think it's gonna be wrapped up on Monday, Chad. I think the whole thing's gonna be done on Monday. We'll get the verdict back and everything. We'll do a marathon on Monday. We'll watch the closing arguments, change it to verdict watch. After verdict watch, they'll probably come back in a few hours and we'll have the final verdict. I don't know in Nevada if let's say he's found guilty, if they go to sentencing right then and there, if he's acquitted, the motherfucker walks out. That's why he was so happy. He was so happy. Let's come to subscriber super chats, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Shout out to Carmen, who became a new member. Welcome, Carmen. In fact, for all of my members, if you are listening, an hour before this started, I put up all the jury questions prior to today. So, we have a nice, beautiful report. Big, bold, beautiful report that outlines how this jury has been thinking. 29 questions. Check it out. We will update it tonight with the questions for today. But over the weekend, if y'all want to check that out, please feel free. Shout out to our members. Gloria drops 10 jewels. It's a floating heart. Belfast BMAC with the 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Belfast. Really appreciate you across the pond. Shout out to Super Big Exotic with the 2 jewels. It's a silver star. Super Big Exotic again with 2 jewels. It is sparkles this time. Fab Mom with the 30 jewels. It's a flower. Thank you, sis. Tania, thank you, sis. She drops 2 jewels. It's a silver star. Thank you. Deonra with the 5 says, remember, criminals also use cops as their informants, just like cops use criminals as informants. Just saying. It's a good point, brother. It's a great point, my brother. Survivor Larry with the 10 says, poll is looking different today. And before I forget, I'm going to end the poll. The question again was, how are you guys thinking and feeling about it? And right now, you guys think that KPD has a shot. It's about split between if he's still cooked and if he has a chance to beat it. So we are in the middle right now. But there we go. Shout out to me and Mrs. Jones. We got a couple over there with a cute dog. It says 10 jewels hiding. Thank you so much. Me and Mrs. Jones again with the 10 jewels hiding. Nicole with the 5, it's a treat. Thank you, sis. Nicole, another 5, it's a treat. Nuts with the 5 jewels, it's a treat. Thank you, sir. Genuine Jewel with 100 jewels, it's a high 5. Mutts Doc Nuts with the 250. It's a laughing disco. No Limit Smitty with the 10 says, what did I miss? The trial is ended. Smitty! Oh my God! Smitty! Yesterday was crazy. And I'll link this as a card for anybody watching in the future. Yesterday you saw my shock and horror. I'm going to say it like a Bostonian. The shock and the horror that this case is coming to a close so early, but that just means something is happening behind the scenes to get Keefy D off, and there's likely a bigger conspiracy. There's likely something a lot bigger happening behind the scenes that we cannot see. They locked down this case. Usually I'm able to get in there or look at the files to see what was filed, and we can get an answer of why. They took everything down because of the high-profile nature of this. But yeah, no limit Schmitty. It looked like we wrapping up on Monday. John with the 440, he says, Uncle Alert. Muffin with the 5, thank you, Muffin, says, does the rebuttal witnesses have to be someone who has testified, or it could be new witnesses? It was likely going to be new witnesses. They can call somebody else to answer your question, but the state didn't even call anybody. Sorry, guys. I'm paying attention to sound. It's so hard to do that in a different space that's not my normal studio. But they typically can call somebody else or do something different. It's just a lot. But thank you so much, Muffin. Shout out to John with the, I think that's a super chat. Thank you so much, John. Shout out to Ron with the 100 jewels. It's a Sunday. Loyalty and Bravery with the 76 jewels. It says 6-7. Loyalty and Bravery with the 2 this time. It's a sparkle. John with the 67. It says 6-7. Nicole 350. It's a finger heart. Shout out to Gnarly Marley with the 5 jewels. It's a treat. Thank you so much. Jazz has been watching with us. 10 jewels. Hiding. John with the 250 says MVP. Me and Mrs. Jones, couple over there with the 10 says hiding. Sharon with the 10, also with the hiding. And Sharon ends us off with the 250 and it says MVP. All right, y'all. I told you that happens. I'm telling you, like in the Fulio case, I was like, who's the most cooked? Y'all were like, Rashad. And then towards the end, everybody was like, Sean. It always changes. Every poll changes. At first, everybody was like, Keefy-D's done, he's cooked. It's unbelievable, but towards the last few days of trial, it always happens. It always happens. And usually people will ask for, like, my opinion on what I think is going to happen in the case. I would have not been able to predict the fact that they were going to end so early. But the only reason why I think that they're ending early is because something is happening with that civil case. With Courtney Claney, she didn't go to trial because she probably would have lost. So she chose to settle her civil case because they had the bread. But here, I want to know what's going on. I'm so curious. I want to call Lopri. Like, bruh, what's going on? Just tell us. Tell us what's going on. Lawyers be like, skedaddle. Like, get out of here. Right? We didn't even get merch out. Like, I was going to give away shirts tomorrow. We'll do some on Monday. We'll do some merch giveaways on Monday. But, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on Monday. I need to think through it because I want to look at the civil document completely, KPD's grand jury transcript completely, which I have time to do over the weekend now. And then Monday when we start, they're starting at 9 a.m. So it's going to be at 12 p.m. My time, Eastern Standard Time, and 9 a.m. their time. So I have some time to really put together some things. I might want to pull up some graphs and stuff to show you guys how this works with the law. But yeah, you got 2 cases running at the same time, civil and criminal. And I do have one person in mind that I wanted to bring on. It is an attorney. He was just talking on CNN about this. So I'll see if he's available to come on Monday so that way we can kill some time and go from there. All right, y'all, let me get up on out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Tomorrow we will do Yellow Beezy. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
All right, see y'all later.